ethics or morals, cause the money is where it's at. Get back. Think you buy 2 dogs, a breed to make money and get fat like that. Get back. Better learn your breed standards and genetics before you get trapped. Get back. Never predators with a smile looking at you ready to attack. Get back. Now you cry cause you stuck with pups and the money ain't rolling like that. Get back. Oh, Mike, Donald, and Kyle told to take it serious as a heart attack. Get back. Now you out your coattail riding, booty clapping, talking crap and all that. Get back. You was busy counting money like a chicken counting eggs that haven't hatched. Get back. Genetic testing, that's for losers. You said you never needed that. Get back. Now you produce the litter of kicktails and cockeyed puppies, talking about this where it's at. Get back. You wonder why numb ones looking, hey yo, where the buyers at. Get back. Now the market is correcting and you jumping shit like a fat rat. Get back. You didn't respect the process of the game you swore you was good at. Get back. Now you crying on social media, where is my help at? Get back. The game that you played just played you back. Get back. We ain't got time for games, where are the real breeders? Get back. Every Monday 8 p.m. Monday Bully Live is where it's at. Get back. On a live experience, breeders answer questions and all that. Get back. To all them people in the back, where them haters at. Get back. To those that lost a shirt, thinking this a game, don't come back. Get back. When it was time to step it up and take it serious, that's when you laugh. Get back. Now you on social media, telling everyone your heart ain't in it, but we know where it's at. Watch our videos, ask the questions, join the live and ask. Get back. No shortcut to success, I thought your parents taught you that. Get back.
Boom! What is going on, fam? It's Monday Bully Live, 8 p.m. CST, every single Monday. You already know. Listen, I ain't even going to hold it up, man. We got our guest right over here. I got my dude Joe from NWA Cane Corso and Gaines Bullies. Man, what y'all did, man, playing invisible on me, bro?
What's up, Joe?
How you doing, Joe? Good to see you.
Good to see you. I'm in it to win it. How are y'all?
All right. Same thing.
Same
here. In the win it, man.
That's what's up.
Well, tell you what, Joe, listen. We've seen you on your lives, man, but I want you to go ahead and introduce yourself. I know we're doing a simulcast, so I want everyone in the crowd to know who we're talking to. Give us a little background, and then Gaines, I want you to give a little background to his crowd, and then I'm going to give a little background, and then we're going to roll from there. So, Joe, make it happen.
Okay. Hey, so I'm Joe Church. I'm the owner of NWA Cane Corso. First off, NWA stands for Northwest Arkansas. and you pronounce Cane Corso. It's not Cane, it's not Kanye, it's not King, it's Cane Corso.
All right.
So so I'm a breeder of the Corso in Arkansas. I also have a YouTube platform where I kind of built it because I saw a lot of holes in the online YouTube world. And so what I decided to do was get guys with experience to come talk to an audience instead of guys who were just rambling things, you know what I mean? And sometimes outright lying, I could tell.
Okay. Very valid. Very valid.
Yeah.
How long you been breeding, Joe?
I've been breeding about 4 years now.
Okay. So right around when COVID hit, right around there you started? Or?
I pretty much got my Corso in, but the way I jumped right into it, I used to ship over champion Frenchies, and then I would breed them and sell them. Then I kind of just moved more. So the Corso was more so my liking because I got kids, more outside, hardier dogs. I didn't have to worry about all the breeding.
Did you ever take a look at the American Bully, or did you just go straight V-line to the Corso?
I went straight V-line to the Corso because my family has raised in Texas. It's a big breeder there named Lamont Morgan of La Potenza. That's my cousin. So he's pretty dominant in Texas. So that's how I was able to get off to a good start and know enough so young in the game that a lot of people were lying and misinforming people.
Good point.
Yeah.
Good point, man. Gaines, talk to me, man. Let everybody know how y'all got together, man. And look, I don't know if it happens to Joe, but it's so hard to me. I see you guys every week, and I still can't tell you apart.
well, I'm Mike Green, Donald Gaines. We've been together about 4 years now, because Bad Betty just turned 4. Yeah, and I bought my first dog off of Donald, and shortly after that we partnered up, man, and hit the road, man. So we love the American Bully. We have pockets, standards, classics. So we love the breed, man, and we enjoyed hitting the show ring. So we hit a lot of shows, and I probably would have had one litter ever, and man, Mike showed the most interest in my litter. He kept coming over and over and over, and I was like, man, we just kind of stumbled into each other, and I didn't know for many months that he was like an expert photographer. and man, everything just God kept giving us blessing after blessing after blessing. And then before you know it, man, I can't imagine what we did before this, but way of life. We're just so happy to be a part of it.
Man, good stuff, Gaines. Let me tell you, what better than to come across a photographer when you're a breeder?
Man, he wasn't any photographer, man. It's like he pulled up with the stagecoach, started
this cat's at another level. This cat's at another level. Trust you me, man.
Right.
Guys, I've been breeding now. I'm gonna roll it to 10 years. If you want to call it 9 or even 8 3/4, I ain't gonna get mad at you. I just say 10 because once you hit 50, you just round everything to the nearest 10th, right? So I've been breeding American Bully XLs. I've been line breeding them mostly for these last 10 years. And I just recently decided I needed to pivot. Why did I pivot? Well, I decided I needed to pivot because I started seeing in the last 5 years more bully type, right, than I saw in the previous 10. Now, how did that happen? Well, there's a lot of inbreeding, line breeding, and stuff like that. And we're going to get into it here in a second. But nonetheless, I just want to give you a little background. Joe, you had some questions for me, man. And, we were supposed to practice and whatnot. We never did. So I'm more than excited for you to fire, because you ain't firing just at me. I got these two down here that they got to respond as well, man. So have at it, man.
Gotcha. So one thing I still see a lot of is breeders not knowing the correct definitions of things, like line breeding, like what is inbreeding.
Okay,
can you guys give like specific examples of that to clear the air on those things?
Okay, tell you what, I'll fire away. Let me just say that there are many schools of thought. Okay. So when I answer this, I'm going to answer what the general public perceives and then the more specific. Okay.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Because I think that some of that could also play to it where, somebody says inbreeding is only a brother to sister breeding. And somebody else was like, no, that's not true. A dad, a daughter could be considered an inbreeding as well. Right. But I'm gonna give you the definitions that I perceive as being each. The old school breeders, they're gonna call inbreeding a sister to brother breeding, and the reason for that is because they're pulling both from the same genetic pool, and in theory, they could have up to 100% of the same genetic code. That's just theory. It's nearly impossible for that to happen. Whereas whenever you breed a dad to a daughter or a mother to a son, the most you can have in theory is 50%. So some old timers will refer to a son to mother or daughter to dad breeding as tight line breeding, because inbreeding, right, bypasses the 50% possible that either parent could give their offspring, if that makes any sense.
Right.
Right. Outcrossing, it's too simple. You're basically breeding two dogs that are not related. Now, line breeding has so many definitions to it. I'm going to let Gaines finish, but I just want to leave you with this. Line breeding could be auntie to nephew, uncle to niece, grandfather, any way that you have some sort of relationship, including, all right, and here's where it gets technical sometimes. Some people will call a half sibling breeding a line breeding. Others will call it inbreeding. But Gaines, I'm gonna let you step up, man. What y'all think?
Yeah, you covered it. You ain't left no meat on the bone, man.
A simple way to go about it is a line breeding. As you look at all these pedigrees from Bullypedia and you see the pictures, and then you have the line split in the middle between the two parents. If you see the same picture of the same dog, top and bottom, it's an amount of line breeding going on.
Mm-hmm.
Very good point, man. Hey, let me just say something, man, because typically it's Donald, right, who wants it. And I'm surprised, Donald, you didn't ask for it. But can you tell Hollywood Holland to put a little music on, man? Because I know you like to cut a rug and break dance and whatnot, man. And Kyle got your hair all dry, man.
Man, I just try to be the interpreter for the mentally impaired. You know, I mean, I speak that language well.
It's all good. Joe, did our definition satisfy your curiosity, my friend?
Yep. You held it. You explained it. You could explain it better than that because it is some different trains of thoughts based on generations. You know what I mean? So yeah, you feel that. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Let me ask you this. Mm-hmm. What do you think, Joe, if I was to come to you and tell you, hey man, them two pups you got, that brother-sister combo, you should go ahead and breed them. How do you feel about that?
I don't know if I you know what? I don't know about that because what would be the purpose, you know? I think it's more distance in between them versus going back the child to the parent, but I don't know what the purpose. It'll have to be a purpose.
Okay. So what if I told you that the purpose, now check this out, right? And this is so cool because you represent a different breed than mine. Right. So maybe some of the goals that we have in our breed right now, you may not have in your breed. Mm-hmm. Let me give you an example. And I explained it as to why I was pivoting. And that's because we have found that the majority of the American bullies out there, both the market and the breeders, are turning to more of an extreme look, but at the same time, you want them to be clean and correct. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, in the Cane Corso world, maybe you can educate me. What is the current trend that people are striving for? Is it a longer dog? Is it a taller dog? Is it a dog with more drive? Is it a dog with more extreme features? Talk to me. What's going on in the Cane Corso world?
Woo! Man, you got working people that want it's more of a functionality thing. The dogs still look good, and I ain't gonna lie, I got a working Corso. I just shipped in out of Serbia a few months back. Structurally, she's perfect from her teeth to her toes. Mm. Over here, it's more bigger. It just depends on the breeder.
Okay.
More pet quality, big nice dogs, big dogs like 150. And
let me ask you something. Off the top of your head, the biggest, most popular Cane Corso right now. I'm talking about marketing wise, right? It ain't got to be breed standard.
Right.
What particular feature does he have that gives it that super wow factor? Is it a big head? Is it a huge chest? What is it?
A lot of times, if it's a novice, it's the color. But for me, it'll be his structure. You know, it'll be his structure. But for most, it's the breeder. You know, if it's a breeder hey, this is what up next. I got this boy. And a lot of time the breeder's name carry weight with those dogs. You know what I mean?
Ah,
Yeah.
Is a lot of diversity in like the head shape or anything like that?
Yes, it's a lot of golly, what's going on? Hold on. Let me unplug this right quick. My cam. I don't know why it's doing that. Give me 1 second.
no worries.
Yeah. But yeah, we have I've discovered in a lot of breeds there's differences in the standard. So yeah, the more of American dogs over here have a bit, they're a lot, but for the most part, bigger. The head type is a little bit different. Because I'll put it this way: the base of the Cane Corso is a Neo, but it's derived with other dogs. You know what I'm saying? So it's different in some, and then a lot of it is selection. You know what I mean? I know some breeders that really got some nice dogs that might not look like the dogs over there in Italy, but they really nice, and they have like a true family of dogs, but they're different. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Okay, so let me take you back. Let me take you back as to why I was asking you about the brother-sister breeding or the possibility thereof. All right. Let me ask you this. Do you know how to lock in traits? Has your cousin broken that down to you?
Yeah. Like going back to selection, you want to breed closer. If you see something you like,
right,
you want to bring that together. You know
correct.
What I mean? Right.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah.
So, Mike just asked you, and there was a lot of variety as far as the headpiece within the Cane Corso, right? So let's say you came across and you had a litter where you feel that the head was, you got pups in there, they got the perfect Cane Corso head that you want, that makes you either distinct or exact to the breed standard. So let me ask you this. What are we going to do in order to lock in those traits? Are we going to inbreed? Are we going to line breed? Or are we going to outcross?
I definitely want to outcross.
Okay, right. Because you're going to shuffle the deck. Right.
Right. And then when you outcross too, we do got to realize that we might bring some shit in. Oh, excuse my language.
You're good. We're allowed 2 fibs per live. So that's the first.
Okay. So when you outcross too, there's some chances of you bringing in some stuff you don't want. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, when I first started, that's immediately what I did. I didn't go off and do my own thing. Once he blessed me with my dog, I went right back into his family of dogs. A lot of people don't stick with their breeders long enough.
Right.
You know what I mean? So yeah, and then I produced some solid pups and confirmations that look the same for the most part. Yeah. So yeah.
How long has Cane Corso been around?
35, 40 years.
So they're a young breed, like
the presser and dogs like that. Yeah.
Okay. It's a little older than our breed, and like Raul was saying, like we're getting in the line breeding and inbreeding to lock, because we have the base of dogs that we want,
right?
And we starting to lock that stuff in now,
right? So what's y'all approach on that? I mean, how aggressive are y'all willing to go?
Man, that's an excellent question, and I think I can tell you, depending on what it is. So again, I'm not trying to dance around it. Just hear me out.
Yeah.
Things like rear, the rear assembly, there's a lot of moving parts. I mean, you got femurs. The femur's too long, even by 1 millimeter. By the time you get down to the hock, you're going to get an angle, right? You got the withers, right? You then also have the hock in the back. So there's a lot of moving parts. And in those particular areas where you have a lot of moving parts, we're well aware that you have what is called a polygenetic chain. Now, poly means many, genetic chain. Pretty much put it together. Now, it could be as many as 2 right? The length of 2, poly meaning more than one, or it could be up to 1,000 long. No one knows. What we do know is that when you're dealing with something that has polygenetic chains, it can take several generations for you to be able to get it to where you want it. So the answer to your question is, if I had a female that had the best rear angulation that I was after, and I had a brother, and I realized how difficult it is to lock that in, I would be super aggressive.
Yeah.
Whereas I wouldn't be as aggressive with, say, front pastors.
Right.
We're just dealing with less variables. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But when you're dealing with something that's got more polygen, like for example, top line in our breed, at the very end of the group, it slopes down, right? And I look every time I look at a bully, I'm always looking for that little slope at the end in the back. Well, to get that little slope, you got to deal with the spine, which has to deal with the nervous system, which has to deal with how many vertebrae you got on the back, etc. So it starts getting overly complicated. So the minute I see that, I already know, okay, that's a polygenetic chain, and therefore I'm either going to have to breed aggressively to it, or I'm just going to have to sit back and line breed 3 and 4 generations to get it in there.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. What does temperament fall in with you guys?
Polygenetic.
Polygenetic.
Yeah, number one.
Temperament is number one.
Yeah.
Number one.
Gotcha.
Especially,
I can say.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. We had like a 1 second delay. I'm over talking you. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. No, I can say I looked it down on and had a different level of respect when there was a dog that he had that was a high dollar dog. He paid a lot of money for it, probably over $8,000, $9,000. But then he just didn't have the temperament. Good with kids and everything. He just didn't like male dogs. It didn't matter the age of the dog. But he took that dog with the bad temperament and he said, I'm not going to put that in the line. Even though he had big offers that people wanted to buy the dog just out of the blue. And then he decided, I'm going to have to put him down. I didn't want that to go to nobody. You know what I mean? So from there, you know what I mean? I had a level of respect, but then I know like the temperament was super important, what we was doing, because he's my mentor. And for him to put down a dog that, you know, got these crazy, crazy offers, you know, and just didn't get rid of it, he put it down so nobody can use it.
Yeah, and that was sending money for future stud credits back. And, you know, the problem was it was all triggered by other animals. But once he got in that mindset, a kid don't need to be around because he was going to hurt that child as well, trying to get to do the animal aggression. And, you know, it's just totally different than the other 30 dogs that we've had. And I'm glad looking back on it, I hadn't run into that problem with very many.
Jedi Master. He don't speak much, but when he does, when he does.
Hey,
right.
No, I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, Joe, you also got to realize the reason for our breed, right? The reason for your breed, I'm gonna take a guess, so please correct me if I'm wrong, but it's more protection, right?
Yeah. They originally was on the farms in Italy, you know, farm dogs and things like that. Yeah.
And our breed is a companion breed. If you forget about the muscles and everything else is doing, it's a companion breed first and foremost. So that dog can't be a good companion right off the rip. That's not a good American bully.
Right.
Yeah, Joe, I was going to ask you: is there a difference in the European and American as far as a hardiness or more workability in the European line as compared to the American line?
No, I wouldn't say that, because I know American breeders that breed for the working type. They're a little smaller. And the same thing that over in Italy or wherever they're getting made. It depends on the purpose of the breeder, on the type you get. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's all solely on him. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
good deal. I could tell you temperament is definitely and first of all, let me commend my dude down here, Donald, for putting that pup down. A lot of breeders wouldn't do it for the obvious financial implications involved. So you pay $8,000 for a puppy, he doesn't turn out to be what it is that you want as far as the temperament is concerned. I can tell you the majority of the people in this community are going to either breed them, sell them, do something, but somehow get their money back. And that's not always that's not always it's the right decision, but it's not always the decision that's being made. But the reason that I feel that was the right decision is because, like I said, that's a polygenetic chain. So it might take you 4 or 5 generations to clear that, to correct that behavior. Do you know how many dogs you're going to be putting down and giving away in order to get to that 4th, 5th generation to be able to fix? That's the reason why you cull, because that dog doesn't need to be in anybody's hands, because ain't nobody going to be breeding that dog for 5 generations in order to fix the temperament. That's just not going to happen. Real quick, man, shout out to my dude, Eric Rutherford, just became a member. Hollywood, let me hear it, bro. Pues claro que sí, cabrón. We're on here every Monday, 8 p.m. CST. Let's keep it rolling, man. What y'all got?
Hey, I got something I want to say right quick, because y'all was tapping in on some things when you was talking about temperament. A breeder told me something that always will stick with me. He said a good breeder must possess this quality, and he said it's discipline. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
What do you think about that?
Bro,
Man.
whoever he is, shake his hand in your head for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the temptation is there for every 2 years. Okay, in our breed, I don't know Cane Corsos, right? But in our breed, every year we crown a new overall ABKC champion. ABKC, the American Bully Kennel Club, is the main club that originally recognized us, and is where the breed pretty much if you want to be somebody in this breed, you pretty much need to win it there, straight up. And so every year, just about, we're crowning a new champion, if you want to call it that. Not champion, but I mean like champion of the overall
national winner,
a national winner. And what ends up happening is there's almost that it's almost that we're programmed nowadays to work on trends, right? On social media and whatnot. So when a new dog comes in, now all of a sudden he's a new trend. Now, if you're a breeder like Donald and Mike down here, or myself down here, and you had a vision and you had a plan, you can't be sidestepping because there's a new nationals winner. We already know every 12 months is going to be one. So you got to look the other direction, and you got to stay the course. And that's where the discipline comes in. I couldn't. Yeah.
Good point. Yeah.
And temperament too. When you're talking about it, some of these breeds not meant for everybody. Can't handle certain type breeds, man. And I think you can make that perfect dog and put in the wrong hands, put in the wrong environment, and turn that dog into, not a dog. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I think it takes a lot of discipline to let a girl go through a few heats without being bred. Find out when she's ready to be a mama, and that's hard to do sometimes, man, because you're so excited about it. But sometimes the discipline between 18 months and 28 months is it's a long time to you. But if she's not ready, she's not ready.
Right. Raul, you got a lot of man. I was telling Raul before we started. I said, man, I've been trying to leave you alone, but I've been seeing you. You've been talking to. You've been, and so he's kind of guys I go after to have on my show and educate. Do you have anything beside this? Maybe something like a Patreon where you teach more in depth on breeding or anything like that?
Well, what I do, man, is this right here on this channel. We have members. We have membership. These, if you notice, for example, this gentleman right here, Eric Rutherford, right? Let me just show this real quick. So Eric and I, we had a conversation today. Look what he writes. He writes, I messaged you earlier today, Raul. Told you I will become a member. My word, my bond. Thank you for all the info, encouraging me to embark my dog and getting my dog started on Nuvet, right? So those that become members, they have this little symbol next to their name. That's how I know they're members. And we're going to answer all member questions. However, we also have different levels of membership. So, for example, we have the highest membership, which is gold, and that particular membership. Not only am I going to answer your questions on the live, you get 2 20-minute consults with me a month where we're going to sit down and we're going to talk. Now it says 20 minutes, but honestly, I don't think this time I've been called that we've only held it at 20 minutes, right? Trust me, in 20 minutes, you could say a lot about breeding and whatnot. And so we have right now, we have about 180 people in that category. And I'm constantly getting called and getting texted and getting hit by them, which is great because it's almost like an interactive. It's like I'm the dude in your corner that's constantly interacting with what's going on in your yard. But in addition to that, they reach a certain level of knowledge. And I love it because I see them going on other people's platforms, on other people's podcasts, educating and talking at the level that we all need to be talking, in my opinion, in order to get this breed going in the right direction. So anybody that wants to reach out to us, you could either download QBN app. It is absolutely free. Or you could become a gold member right here on this channel. Jump on board every Monday, 8 p.m. CST. We're having a conversation. In addition, you're getting 2 consults a month where we're going to 9 times out of 10, what we do is we do a FaceTime, a live FaceTime. So you're picking puppies. Excellent. Show me the pups. You there. Okay, great. Hey, man, I'm about to do an AI. Hey, bro, hit the live, bro. Hey, you ain't wearing gloves. How about wearing some gloves, man? Don't get sloppy. That sort of thing. And so I'm constantly coaching, you know, the members that are at that level.
And you know what?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but you know, you might be probably the closest thing to a mentor most people will ever see. You know what I mean? You know? Yeah. The days of the phone calls and people don't have time. The group knowledge works better overall.
It does.
You know, that's one of the reasons I started this platform. When I first bought my first bully, it was a wham bam, thank you, ma'am type of deal. Here's your puppy, give me my money, bye. Right. If I knew you, if I don't ever see you, that's all good. Right. And so I was like, who do I go for answers? So every time I'll reach out to a breeder, here's the thing, bro. You need to understand breeder DNA. A breeder is their biggest self-promoter. They got to be, because they're running a small business and they need to promote the small business and they need to hype it up any which way they can. Right. And so what ended up happening was I was trying to reach out for people to help me out. Nobody wanted to help me out, but they did want to sell me a pup. You see what I'm saying? So then I realized,
hey, you got to pay to play, man.
That's true. You got to spend money for them to take time with you.
Yeah.
But here's the scary part, man. Some of them, what they had to tell you wasn't really anything out of this world. What it was more of, I know this little bit and I'm so scared to share it because I don't want competition that unless you buy from me, I won't even let you know it. And then once you find out, you're like, dude, it's like, you've taught me nothing. No offense, but you've taught me nothing. I knew this, coming in. And I mean it with no arrogance because, and I spoke to you earlier, any breeder you see out here with a level of arrogance, there's 2 reasons why they're being arrogant. See, arrogance is an immediate defense mechanism. When you don't know anything or you're scared that people realize that you don't know, immediately you're going to be arrogant, right? Because then you think you're going to get people to not call your bluff because you're doing it. The other thing is you're being arrogant, right? in order to manipulate the masses to continue feeding that marketing you got going on. You see what I'm saying? And so, unfortunately, when I was seeking help, all you got was nothing but arrogance. And then you ask them simple questions like, hey, man, just a question, bro. Just want to know. Small head on a dog. Is that a dominant gene or a recessive gene? Gene? What is that? Eve eyes? What you talking about? Yo, but you've been breeding for 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Never mind, bro. Like, you know, and I soon started realizing that 90% of the dudes out there acting like they knew something didn't know anything.
Mm-hmm.
And it was all one big act in order to get as many as these sheep behind them, because the sheep don't do nothing. All they do is and follow, right? And so if I act like I know what I'm doing, I'm going to get enough sheep behind me, right? And so I quickly learned, bro, the best way to handle this is start learning, you know, with your own mistakes, learning by yourself, and sharing what you know. So when a lot of people come to me and they ask me something, I have an answer, but the reason I don't need a book to give me my answer is because I dealt with it. And I'm just going to go to the memory of the time that I had that one pup that died because his temperature was at 86 degrees and it should have been at 88. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Whereas people faking the funk, you know, it's kind of hard to remember page 330. Was that 334 or 338? You know what I'm saying? That's when you start seeing through people's BS real quick. And that was the main reason I brought this platform, was more than anything for all of us to teach each other something. Let me give you an example. These dudes down here, these dudes know just about everything you need to know about showing an American Bully inside of a ring. You know how much I know about that? Zero. Right? I'm not ashamed to say it.
Yeah.
I'm not ashamed. You know, I've put more of my time on doing something else. They've done it over here. Yeah. But tell you what, man, if we ever get together and do something, it's dynamite. Because you got a photographer down there, you got Yoda down there, you got me back here. You see what I'm saying? And we all put our heads together, and we could actually make things that much better and that much stronger.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Oh, that's for real. Oh, Raul, I just want to give you a hug right now. And sorry for your experience in the early start in the community. But I'm also glad that you had that experience to build the platform that you built. But we didn't have that same experience. We jumped off the porch. You know what I mean? We're older guys, jumped off the porch, and we hit the show. And when we hit the show, we was able to network and meet different people, and they were able to mentor us, you know, where in the show ring. You know what I mean? So we built a nest of people that we can call on that shared all the information. You know what I mean? Those that didn't, we just ignore them. We don't even, you know what I mean? Like they don't even think about those incidents. You know what I mean?
It was mind blowing how free they were with information, especially just watching you kind of not know which direction you're going, or got the dog on the wrong side of you, put your number badge on the wrong side.
Yeah.
And you know, they've all been there, and everybody had to be in there for their first time. That's the thing everybody has in common. And you know, it's good people. So man, it's just such good people around.
From training, so he knew a group of people already. Everybody had a network of people, but as far as training, you know what I mean? You're like, hey, this is how you train and do that, but you might want to call this person, that person, reach out. And I got all love from there doing the training part. And then me and Donald did our own in-house training in the yard, running through the shows. But that was
let me ask you this, because you're leaving out the most important part, in my opinion. Were you out there arrogant, acting like you knew what the hell you were doing? Or were you out there just being humble, and whenever you dropped the ball, you were like, hey, I'm just out here learning?
No, we didn't even know what a ribbon was, man. So we
just coach each other, man. We're just trying to get the most out of each other, because we both kind of had a background in trying to lift other people up, you know, and Man, it just so happened that when Mike got in there, I could tell right away that I was teaching him stuff, but then he was immediately, like the next day, the next breath, he was better at it than me. But he had the eye for that, and he had the movement and just the gift that comes with working with these animals. So, man, I think that's what makes me just strive to get better all the time is because Mike sets the standard so high for his want to get after it, just man, the least lazy person you ever seen, and he makes everything else just such a pleasure.
Right.
Man, give me a hug, Donald. He right here.
All right, man. Y'all just give each other a hug.
He right here, man. He right here. I got a hug. Man.
Yeah. You can look at the comments and tell how people feel about your platform, Raul, and that's good because a lot of times some of it is ignorance and things like that. But sometimes you need to get inside the mind of a breeder and really see what things about. Like a big thing people don't know about when you start to gather dogs, you can't move like you normally.
Right. Right.
I can't jump up and go out of town when I got to make sure things are taken care of.
Yep.
So some of those things could kind of maybe throw off people that just might first thing thinking about is money. And another thing that I see that hurts breed just as much as the backyard breeder is the politics in dogs. The politics in dogs is
Yeah, you're gonna have that at every registry. There's no way around it. Wherever humans are, however, I will say this, man, in defense of, I guess, my breed, I will say that in the last 5 years, I feel that the breed is heading in the right direction. I feel that the dogs that need to win out in nationals are the ones that are winning out in nationals. You know what I'm saying? Because the last thing you want to see is the dog who in your mind is ranked 10th getting first place trophies. I think if we ever got to that point, it'd be just a major turnoff. I've been very critical of my registry and people running it, but when it's time to give it its flowers, I will. And I do feel that for that to be true. However, is there politics? Absolutely, man. Yeah, absolutely there is. Let me ask you this. Do you show dogs do you show cane corsos off in the show ring?
No, man, I tell you what, I don't have the time, but I'm going more for the working type. So I'm heading more into probably a little light protection work and things like that. But I got buddies of mine that show and they do well in it. And I like it because just like y'all, that network y'all got going there, I could ask that show breeder, hey man, I'm trying to breed for this. Because in all our minds, it's kind of some science going on,
right?
Into making our breeds and different things, and we might run into things that you might need help with. And one thing that really helped me is, I guess because I'm special, I got that platform. I can call up some of the biggest breeders in the country. They might not get along, but they're not worried about me. I can ask the question. I can get it from them, and then those little 4 or 5 men sales, the buddies you might get on the phone with, and you just talk dogs. It does a lot for you.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna give you a little heads up, man. I'm gonna give you a little heads up. Yeah. Right now, just right now, you're not a threat. Right. And this is how it works. I'm just giving you a heads up how it works. As long as you're not a threat, the door's always going to be open. The day you knock and they don't even answer, that's the day you know you arrived, because you're a threat at that point.
That has happened with a few people that don't talk to me anymore.
Yeah,
things like that.
Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead, man.
Hey, just one more thing on what you said before you got into saying the show. The arrogance where I seen come in at is and going back to what you saying, is when somebody like win the lottery, say they produce a dog or even buy a dog that's a hitter. that's why I see some of them guys that I talk to, you know what I mean, that they didn't actually produce the dog and line bred and outcross, not in generations in the dog, you know what I mean, but actually hit the lottery and don't know how it was done. You know, I mean, hell, you hit the lottery, man, you know. But it's a difference between somebody who worked their way up there, you know, started a business and became successful versus somebody who just hit the lottery and never had to do that part of it.
Yeah.
Well, let me add to that real quick, man, because this is one of the reasons why I love dog breeding, because dog breeding will reveal to the world everything that there is about you and what you're doing. See, you could sit here and yap at the mouth and say, I know this and I know that. You could be as arrogant as you want. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, if you had a lottery ticket dog, you got about 3 to 4 years clock ticking, you better outproduce them. Because if you don't outproduce them, if you don't produce a dog that's as good or better than that dog within 3 or 4 years, then the questions of you winning the lottery are about to creep up.
I give you 2 years.
All this arrogance, all this arrogance you got going on, and all this me is about to go down the drain if you can't outproduce your dog in 3 or 4 years. I mean, I'm just keeping it real with you.
Oh, good point.
Yeah. I give you 2 years. Mm-hmm. I didn't see many fall off in 2 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's an old saying, man, and that's why like arrogance is one of the things I can't stand, seeing somebody arrogant, bro. And that's because there's an old saying that says, today you're drinking wine, tomorrow you may be stepping on grapes. So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right. Just chill, man. Hey, let me share something with you guys. We were talking in the back, Joe. You want me to bring it up a little bit. So I'm gonna bring up genetic testing, man. And real quick, let me give you a little background on my dogs, because maybe your crowd doesn't know. So back in the days, man, I started out with this girl right here, Aruba, right? Mm-hmm. And this is her brother, Fireball. And they're pretty much the backbones of my yard, right? Pretty much Aruba. I'll show you. Look, she is mother to this girl, Mocha. She is mother to Athena. She is mother to my boy Congo. You get the picture. She's mother to a lot of dogs in my yard and whatnot. But recently, I told you I decided to pivot, right? I'm looking for more girth, more extreme features, that sort of thing. Recently, I sent in my embark on puppies that I purchased, and one particular puppy that has really nice extreme features. His name is Blueberry, BBK. I hadn't received his results. So seeing that you're here and seeing that you want me to talk about it, I'm gonna go ahead and bring it up for everybody to see, bro.
Appreciate it.
So no. So let me see, where's that page at? Here it is. All right. So this is my boy Blueberry, guys. He's at 24% koi. Let me just ask you, I know you've covered it, but I feel like I got to ask you, or that way we could also educate those watching. Do you know what koi is, and do you know what it's used for?
Yeah, coefficient of inbreeding.
Yes, sir.
You have to see how close you're breeding within a off the pedigree, some people would say. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You want to see basically, and the way I see it, man, and I just have a different definition, is how many pairs are identical versus not identical. Mm-hmm. And the more identical pairs you got, the more of extremeness that you're able to get. And I'm talking about like extreme to the breed type, extreme to to the standard that you're trying to get. So basically, this boy, a quarter of his body is pretty much inbred. We can pretty much say that. When we go in, I've had a couple of people hitting me up, so pay attention, man, because I've had a couple of people hitting me up. And if you notice, he's clear on 271 of health results. He's got 2 notables, which I'm going to go over here in a second, and he's got 1 for increased risk. I've been getting hit up on this one in particular, the one with increased risk. So the one with increased risk is called mast cell tumor. Guys, I'm letting you know right now, all American bullies are going to come back with this. This is just a red flag that shows up on their genes, but it may be a polygenic chain that has been chopped off. We don't know yet. We got to let years go by. But right now, if you see mast cell tumor, it's not the end of the world. All American bullies are coming back with this. On this puppy, I see this right here is called ALT activity. Now, Joe, I don't know if this applies to your breed, but in our breed, I have found that dogs that have low ALT, which is low liver enzymes, happen to be more muscular, right? Can you believe that? Can you believe that, right? Your dog is dinged for something, but in reality is giving you something positive in return. At least in my breed, musculature is definitely something that people are after.
Right.
Then we go down to progressive retinal atrophy, CRD4 or CORD1. And again, this is something that has not affected our breed. It's a red flag, but it may be a genetic polychain that was chopped because we have a breed that is a compound breed. We're conformed with many different breeds, especially at the XL level. But I'm not going to get into all that. Okay. Right now, I just hit on the health. Now we're going to go into traits. Again, Joe, for your breed, it may be slightly different, especially on the colorations, but I'm going to go over it nonetheless. On this boy, he's got KB on the K locus. We know he's going to produce some ghost tries if he ever does. He is a tri carrier. He's AYAT, right? For those of you watching, the K locus, I always tell people, is the last coat of paint on the hair. So if it's KY, KY is a transparent coat. KB is either going to be a dark black or dark brown coat. And the darkness is going to depend on whether or not you got two lowercase d's on the dilution gene, right? The dilution gene is kind of like pouring a little bleach into that black, making it blue, or into that brown, making it fawn. All right. Let's see here. Let me scroll on down. The boy has double short muzzle gene, which is to be expected. But here's the kicker. Everybody watching is probably, by the way, pay no attention to this. This thing is usually off 25 to 30 pounds.
Oh, wow.
Check out the body size on this little pocket. He is NI for those of you watching. So I decided to make the announcement here because I've had a lot of people hitting me up telling me, which way are you going now that you got all these new pups and this and that? Well, to be honest with you guys, this was the last piece of the puzzle I needed to see before I could start making decisions in my head as to which way we're going to be going. And definitely him being an NI means even though he's a pocket, I could probably breed him to a bigger female. And that bone density he's showing as a pocket is not going to suffer when I produce an offspring of his that's bigger, if that makes any sense. And that's the reason behind the IGF-1. All the other ones, they're great, but the main one, this right here, stands for like 97% of it as far as body size is concerned. And this has everything to do with the regulation of the growth hormone. Keep in mind, guys, the growth hormone is something you can manipulate. And I know that cane corsos, even though you have dogs over there that got good soft tissue, I know you guys have better soft tissue than we do over here. I will tell you that if you ever run to a soft tissue issue, the first thing you want to turn off, in my opinion, at least that's what I do over here on my end, is first thing I turn off is the growth hormone. And the way I do that, the way you turn off the growth hormone is feed your dog sugar. Not sugar, not table sugar. Hear me out. Carbohydrates, rice, spaghetti, simple carbs, potatoes. Whenever that sugar hits the blood and insulin has to be released, the growth hormone is stopped, because the growth hormone can only be in the blood when the insulin is not there. Right?
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
So this is the reason why when you have, I don't know if you guys have knuckling over on your neck.
Yeah.
Okay.
We do have that.
You're feeding a dog too much protein, a puppy, they're going to knuckle over. So how do you fix it? You reduce the protein down to 15, 13%, and you increase carbohydrate. Why do you increase carbohydrate? Because you want to stop the growth hormone.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't ready to grow right now. We need to fix this first, right? And too much protein is going to cause for the soft tissue to get soft on you. Mm-hmm. So bring it down, and you'll be surprised.
What about upping the fat content?
You can, but the only reason I don't like to go that route is because puppies in particular, if you start feeding too much fat content, you can actually cause pancreatitis. That's the only reason why I don't want to go that route. And I cheat. I basically cheat by feeding carbohydrates.
Gotcha.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. What does that NI look like on a pundit square? Say you breed that little boy to, say, a female we got. That's right. What would that look like on a pundit square? 25%?
I could already tell you off the top of my head because I've done it enough. Yeah, it's 50-50. So you're going to have
50-50?
Going into the breeding, you have 50% chance of the litter being NI and the other 50% being double I.
Yeah. I need a stud credit on that boy, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Well, I appreciate you going through that, because a lot of times just in the Corso, we might look at colors and things, but number one thing we're looking for is a disease like DSRA. It's like a degenerative disease that, like, the teeth fall out and the bones just disintegrate. So like the poison on our dog is like that. Eyes, we need to check eyes, heart, hips, they big dogs.
Yeah.
And what else is there? Epilepsy.
Big one. Neurological.
Yeah, so it ain't a lot of, we do a lot of, we don't do a lot of tight breeding. If we're doing a tight breeding,
I got you.
Cross it out, because it's running through the breed.
Okay, I'm glad you're saying that, because a lot of people are now realizing that depending on the breed depends how you can move. You see,
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. In our breed, we're more of a composite breed. I mean, don't get me wrong, most newer breeds are composite, but the American Bully, I would say, is more composite than many others, because we also have different classes. Do you guys have different classes for Cane Corsos, or is there just one class fits all no matter how tall or how big you are?
I don't know what you mean by that one class.
There's not many Cane Corsos or XXL Cane Corsos.
Not for the most part. I don't see them no bigger than 150, but it is people that's trying to be extreme. And then we have people who have put in other breeds. So yeah, 150 tops is what I normally see them, and about 130 for the working type in the males, I say. Yeah.
Now you mentioned that working type, and that's what you do, right?
Yes, sir.
And looking at the litters, how do you pick a puppy based off temperament for a working type dog?
Wow, that's a good question.
Well, you got to hold them a little bit. And then I just kind of like evaluate the whole process, because how you had a litter puppy, and it's just like, you might have that one little small dog, he getting to the teeth just better. It seems like the process starts at the beginning. But yeah, one thing to have, if you a Corso breeder that's looking for a good dog for working, is a good trainer to test them. But you got to hold the dogs for a while to really see. You know what I mean? And then it's so much pressure. It's kind of a toss up. You just got to go off some attributes, or is he tough? Is he, is he confident and things like that? Because you can only push him so far. You don't want to ruin the dog.
Right.
Because that protection stuff comes way in the back end when he's an adult anyway.
Okay.
Too early. You know what I mean?
It's just some tests I see him do, like running vacuums, dropping pods. Holding them upside down, laying them on a cold rag. If they draw out that survival instinct, it's some of the stuff that Donald do. Donald read a lot of books, man, and he in the psyche of the dog. He in their brains too. So
yeah. Well, you know,
dog whisperer.
Yeah,
dog whisperer. Yeah.
One of my number one tests is my kids. Oh my God, boy.
Yeah.
Oh,
they gonna do it.
Oh yeah, I'm an old father. You know what I mean? I had my first child at 35, so these rugrats I got around here, when by the time them dogs get home, they confident. They not scared of nothing.
Yeah. That's best.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're right about that.
Yeah.
We have a question here from Eric Rutherford. He says, I've heard you. Let me repeat. I've heard you have to be careful with cane corsos if you don't know how to handle dogs. They're a little more dominant than bullies. Any truths to that?
I don't know what a bully temperament is like, but a Corso can be what some people call stubborn. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, and I usually see that stubbornness around that adolescence. I know one of my oldest dog, she used to give my wife problems. She wouldn't give me problems. It's like she would test her a lot. Like, I ain't gonna do what you say. But how we fix that is we did training with her, and my wife was the main person doing it with her. And now they like peas in a pod.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny you say that, man. I'm not a trainer by any means. I don't consider myself a trainer or nothing like that. But I, like Donald, like to read a lot of books. And one of the biggest mistakes that we made when I first got bullied was I would say one thing and lay down certain rules. And when I wasn't home or wasn't around, wifey would let dog get away with murder. So here's what started happening. Once the dog's turning about 6 to 8 months, she started realizing that what was cute when they were 2 months old, no longer cute, because now they're scratching up the sofa. Oh, but daddy always said you can't jump on the sofa, but mama let you go on the sofa when daddy wasn't around. But now you're too big and mama can't handle you. You see what I'm saying? So what we ended up doing was pretty much, I told my wife, I said, when you hear me set a rule, you got to follow with that rule. Otherwise, if you allow that dog into the sofa when I'm not there, he or she is of the understanding that you and her or you and him are at the same level. Because when dad is around, I can't be on the sofa. But when he ain't around, I can. That means you must be lower level than he is because you're letting me on. And it's amazing how stupid little things like that could actually play into either organized home training or completely disorganized where the dogs think that they're stuff, man. It happened with my breed firsthand, bro.
Yeah.
I see it with all breeds. He was talking about that breed in particular, and that's the reason why I said you need to pick what breed that you can handle.
Facts.
You know what I mean? But if you just go to Walmart, you see a little kid picking stuff off the shelf, mommy say no, and they knock all the shelves down. But then with one kid, and over here, this lady has 5 kids, nobody touching anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we've seen dogs that we trained or dogs that I handle for people when they get them, you know, I'm trying to teach them because I want them to get in the ring, but you see the dog don't respond to them at all. I don't even know the dog. Take it out 5 minutes around the ring and I got him tap dancing. Yeah. You know what I mean?
You made a really good point though. You made a really good point. Know the breed you need to get, because if you go off trends, you might not need no Corso. You don't need a presser. You know these dogs, man.
Yeah.
And then I would tell y'all something funny too. Like when you raise kids up around big dogs, you have to break them. And you know the kind of guys I know, they in the protection where these dogs get aggressive sometimes.
Yeah.
I have to train my kids. Stop walking up on people's dogs. You don't know they dogs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they just so used to just being around big dogs, you just walk up on any dog. You know what I mean?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Get that on the money.
Right.
Not intimidated, man. But listen, man, Joe, let me tell you, man, I appreciate you for coming on, bro. We're gonna go ahead and cut it. Let me bring my dude back, Mr. Hollywood. And we do a thing over here, Joe, where we do our outros, man. So we always started out with my dude Hollywood. Oh, wait a minute, Gaines. You gotta I feel like I'm in school. I'm the teacher, man.
I gotta say something too.
Hey, we need to spin the wheel one time tonight, man.
Oh, okay. Okay, we're definitely gonna do that. How about you,
a
Hollywood?
new member would be a good spinner.
I was gonna say them Cane Corsos are definitely completely different than the bully breed from what I've seen and researched and heard. And that you really don't want the first time dog owner that doesn't know much about dogs owning a Cane Corso. Now, I wouldn't do that with really any dog like Pitbull or Bully, even though Bully is more of a, how'd you say it earlier? It's a companion breed.
Yeah.
But the Cane Corso used for protection and stuff, if somebody doesn't know what they're doing with these dogs, they could get into a world of trouble. So I wouldn't just go buy a Cane Corso because they look cool unless you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
But I've heard they're good dogs. I've heard they're really good dogs and they're good family dogs and they're protective over their family. But if you don't know what you're doing with them, I mean, it really could be dangerous for somebody.
Right.
I mean, is that fair to say, Joe?
Yeah. Because
that was a great point Joe had earlier, where it was his wife and the dog that was the real issue. So her doing the basic obedience with them is where the need was. And man, that's a good point. You need to find, even if you have kids, grown kids, for them to do the training with the dog is good, because you want the smallest rung on the totem pole to have a clear understanding they're dominant over the dog.
Yeah.
So they don't accidentally the dog. Good point, Joe.
All I'm saying by picking your dog, all I'm saying is if you got a beagle, if you see a rabbit or smell something, he might get out the yard, running, trying to chase rabbits. If you got a guard breed like German Shepherds, Rottweilers, Cane Corsos, them dogs not scared of humans, right?
Yeah.
So you got to be able to train that dog. If you got a companion animal, you know what I mean? You take a companion animal that is not properly trained and doesn't do nothing right in the house. You know what I mean? Not house broken, not nothing, whatever. It's all on the individual. Regardless of what breed you get, you need to understand what that breed is, what it was, why it was made for. The what do you call that when their roles? Their role. You know what the role of the dog is, and you can see some of them problems that come out like that. So it's just being aware and understanding the breed that you're deciding to own.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Am I finna win something?
Go ahead. Yeah, right now, man. Listen, we got Eric Rutherford, man. I thought he had made probably the best question of the night. And so I'm volunteering him for a free spin. Is there anybody against it? Raise your hand now or forever hold your peace.
Let's roll with it.
All right, here you go. Eric Rutherford, man. Number love for you, bro. And may the winnings be with you. Here you go.
Good luck. Good luck. Big bucks, no whammies.
Oh, here we go. Oh,
Big bucks,
It's coming. Who is it?
Hey,
50% on my boy Congo. Yo, listen, man. We're gonna have to
Mike
change.
said he was paying. Mike said he was paying for that because he volunteered. Remember?
We're gonna have to do something. Eric, do me a favor. Get a hold of this guy right here, Hollywood Holland. Hollywood, go ahead and put your number up underneath. That way they could text you their info, and I'll be getting in touch with you and guaranteeing your 50% off the stud fee. But hey, guys, I hope that you've enjoyed this live as much as we have, having Joe from NWA Cane Corso here on board. And we're going to start our outros, starting out with Hollywood.
It's your boy Hollywood Holland, your boy in the back at the queue, and we're catching you on the next one.
Gaines Bullies.
Mike G, Donald Gaines Bullies, man. Hey, fun live. Hey, we love seeing everybody. I'm Mike. That's Donald. I know it's hard to tell us apart, but we'll see y'all next time.
The Gaines twins. Joe, what's up, man?
NWA. That's Northwest Arkansas now. See y'all later.
Nothing but love, man. Hey, you already know we do this every Monday, 8 p.m. CST. It's been Raw from the Q. Catching you on the next one.
Someone told you bully breeding is where it's at. You don't care about ethics or morals, 'cause the money is where it's at. Get back. Think you buy 2 dogs, a breed to make money and get fat like that. Get back. Better learn your breed standards and genetics before you get